and they just guide it. They guide it with a magnetic signal. I know that sounds very elaborate, but you know how far they've gone with me. It lines up. It lines up pretty perfectly. It is a running theory. You know, maybe just from the readings though, I don't think you would get a reading right by the weapon if they had a weapon pointing down at me. That 1,200 microtesla, signal or reading that I'm getting from the ceiling, it wouldn't change much on its way to the ground, because I'm reading that on the other side of the floor. Like, I'm reading it on my side, 1,200 microteslas. So on its way to the ground, it wouldn't lose that much. It wouldn't lose that much power if it was a weapon with the mouth pointed towards me. So I'm kind of adding things up. I do feel foolish, but you know, that's a human thing. With this stuff, it does get very elaborate. They do use tricks that they don't think we're gonna figure out, and you know, I didn't just figure that out. It was other TIs, what I've heard from them before, somebody contacting me afterwards. And this is a way that they hit him a lot with dirty electricity, and that adds a kind of a layer where I can protect against microwave radiation very well with my Q-Wave defenders. I have 10 on right now, so when I'm out here, they're hitting me with remote stuff. It's not that bad. I hear a little bit of muffled V2K. I get the remote neural monitoring, but like, they're not hitting me with heavy beams that I'm just like all the time. So, but this dirty electricity is another matter entirely. I don't know how my defenses will work against it if they're just directing that little patch of dirty electricity. And it seems to be like, I'll get a reading in that room, and I'll do more readings, because what I'm hoping to do, I'm hoping to flush out the truth with these videos, and I'm hoping to flush them out too. I know that regular people who aren't targeted would look at this video and be like, man, he is just flip-flopping. He thinks it's this, he thinks it's that. He looks crazy. I understand that. And I understand that in general, as targeted individuals, we just want to say we're being hit with something. We're being hit with something. It's hurting us. People are directing this attack on us. They're directing, electromagnetic frequencies, microwave radiation, whatever you want to call it, from these directed energy weapons. We just want to be like, these are wireless weapons that are hurting us. They're hurting our families. But with my videos, I also do want to flush out the truth, and in trying to discover what's happening around me, because they're using everything. This guy, they've already spent so much money over these 7 years, and this guy's had me for 4 years of it. He got the weapons passed along to him, and he's been organizing it for 4 years of it. So I want to do videos of what's going on around me, and I really did. I was like, that proves it, because I didn't know anything that they could kind of rig up a place with dirty electricity. I'd never experienced that. They hadn't done that in my house that I know of. They may have, but my experience was being hit remotely with microwave radiation, and they always had enough power to do that. So I don't think that they crossed the line into rigging up wiring or getting Entergy too much involved in any of that. I think now that I'm at the condo and I keep piling on the defenses for the microwave radiation, they have gone to this level. They've gone to this level of doing this, and that theory is sound, that, I put it up to the ceiling, there's such a high reading up there, and then once it gets down to head level, it is decreased, by thousands of microteslas. It's decreased to 90 microteslas as opposed to 1,200 microteslas. Now, if it was a ground weapon, and I was just thinking maybe it dissipated on the way, but I think that what the information that this guy gave me, and that I've gleaned from other target individuals about dirty electricity being used, it comes together, and I start to see that this is what's happening in that condo. Now, they are hitting me remotely too. They're hitting me with remote microwave radiation, electromagnetic frequencies, the directed energy weapons. But they knew, I think they saw that wasn't going to be enough. So they went ahead, I think that, and they did renovations. They just did, it changed completely. Once I heard them pulling up the carpeting in the condo above me. I heard all the renovations being done, and then, I started getting readings, and kind of things came together. I guess I'm going to go mirror inside of a mirror. I understand how this can look to non-target individuals, and this is the way they want it to look. That I got a reader right after they did renovations, and then I'm getting readings, and then it looks like it's changed, so it looks like it makes me look even crazier. But it's the truth. I'm trying to find the truth here in my situation, and that makes a whole lot of sense. From the readings that I'm getting from the ceiling being so powerful, and then when they get down to head level, it's about 90 microteslas. So in this, this guy contacted me last night, and we chatted about it. And he said that they can get dirty electricity, kind of rig up either your place, like wiring under your floor or in your wall. Then whoever's hitting you remotely can send or with even with a magnetic diode, ground based, they can direct this dirty electricity towards you. So this stuff gets very elaborate. Guys, please comment if you've experienced any of this. What I feel from this stuff that I'm being hit with is different from how it's gone along the entire time. How it's gone along the entire time has been like, I feel beams. It's pretty, what they're hitting me with is a lot. They're hitting me with V2K, remote neural monitoring, then beams, and it's been pretty standard the whole time. It's increased, but it's never, this stuff, like this morning, I feel like a heavy headache in the front, and like just my body is aching, like it's kind of like I've been electrocuted. So it's a little bit different, the feeling from this energy. Now I put my hand right there under the ceiling, and I feel a warm kind of cone there. And there's another hot spot, right near my bathroom too. So I think that's kind of that is kind of the strategy that they have taken. They've gotten Entergy to kind of rig up something. Entergy is not involved in this. Like, Entergy, the corporation, is involved in gang stalking. They're just people who work in these places that are connected to this stuff, so they can kind of work on these projects or kind of get in there. You'll hear other target individuals talking about servicemen, like an air conditioner guy or an electric guy or this or that, who, it's not the company that's involved in it, it's the guys in it who are kind of connected, or they can call somebody in Entergy or AT&T who would be willing to do some of this gang stalking or set something up. Now, where I go from here, I think I'm going to talk to the maintenance guy. I'm going to ask to look at my electrical boxes. The electric bill, my mom said before I moved in, was like $50, and now it is like $140. It is triple. It's like almost tripled since I moved in. And I don't keep the lights on. I have a TV, and it's almost tripled. So something's going on, and I think that they're rigging stuff up. And then they're even making my family pay for torturing me. They're making my family pay a higher electric bill for rigging all this crap up. And then we're also paying the bill for it too, for me to be tortured. And then this guy, this main organizer, he's making money off of it. He's just spending money like water, with the DHS fusion centers connected to all this stuff. Just spending money, spending the state's money, spending federal money, spending money. And then he's making so much money from it, just to have his hands on these weapons. The private corporations and the DOD to experiment with this stuff they're also funneling money out, almost just making money, printing up money, with trillions of dollars in the DOD to do this stuff, for weapons testing and, all this stuff. And then it gets out of hand even past that. Even past the weapons testing, it just becomes a slaughter with torture chambers all over, America and the world. Just they get us in these little boxes, and then they just electrocute us or, shoot directed energy weapon. It's really, it's something that has to be talked about. We got to keep talking about it. Like Robert Duncan said, just keep talking about it. Keep figuring, any kind of methods that they have. We got to keep figuring them out, because I've been going through this for 7 years that I know of, and that is a method that I've heard people I've heard a lot of TIs talk about how they've had wiring like put in their place, and then they start feeling like bad or headaches, or they won't feel shock, but they'll feel heat from it, from that dirty electricity. So I've heard that a lot of times, but I never thought about it in my situation. And now I'm getting readings, and then somebody contacted me after seeing my videos about that and was like, hey, I just wanted to let you know, this is a way they kind of do this stuff. They'll hook up dirty electricity or wiring, and then get a magnetic signal to direct that. So it's very elaborate. It's very elaborate, so elaborate that, they're like, no one will even believe that. Nobody knows about these methods. Then you got a person who's been, tortured for a decade or 7 years or 5 years, and nobody's going to believe this stuff. So they just get more and more elaborate and more disgusting and dark, because these methods and this technology is not out in the public. It will get worse. They will come up with worse stuff. And it all feeds in to the goals of this program, because the darker the tactics, the more crazy they are, and the more dark they are, the more crazy we look. The more evil the stuff they do, the more they ramp it up, the more it fits into the category of schizophrenia. This is very terrible. We have to talk about it. I mean, I have no choice. It's so dark. My family is involved, and it's touching my family's lives, his family's life, the city, everybody in the city. This stuff is so evil, and so unaccountable, and there's so much money involved in it, in lies. There's no choice for me, and I've said this many other times. I know for a lot of you guys out there, there's no choice for you either. We've got to do what's right. There is right and wrong in the world. I do not cater to these people's philosophy of just do whatever you want, and as long as you're not caught, it's okay. That's what Ted Bundy thought, and he was an evil murderer who they, sent to the death chamber. He could not do whatever he wanted because he had power over the people. He could not do that. So he was wrong, and these people are wrong too, no matter how much money they have behind them. It is the same philosophy. They are hurting people. They are hurting innocent people, trying to make them look guilty, and destroying lives. So this is important, that we get this information out. And a lot of target individuals, because I'm putting my own information out, can contact me, and then they straighten me out on kind of some methods that I didn't know about. So the more that we talk about this stuff, and don't worry about these psychiatrists saying they're hanging on to their delusions or whatever. We can't really worry about that kind of stuff, because it is true, so it doesn't matter. It's like my brother one time, and I don't know, my family, they kind of see this stuff going on more and more, and the kind of thinking they had about it at one time has changed. And I really don't want it to. I kind of want my family to not believe me and think I'm crazy sometimes, so it'll keep them out of danger. So